any update on the quarterback situation?
We're close. We'll figure that out soon, though. We're in a good place.
And based on being in a good place, we'll make that final determination. And will we also see a potential rotation of QB 1 and 2?
Yeah, we'll just see who practices better these next couple days, and then we'll make a decision whether it's Friday, whether it's right before the game. We'll let them know, and then everybody else will find out at the same time.
Is there potential of having a QB 1 and 2 in rotation during the game?
We'll see.
Dennis?
What's your philosophy on playing two quarterbacks? And there's a lot of people that don't like it.
Yeah, I've been a part of it. Been a part of it here. Seen it work, seen it not work. So we're just going to do whatever it takes to win. I don't think there's really a yes or no or what's better, what's not. You go back to the years of Tim Tebow and Chris Leak. Worked out pretty well for them. But there's teams that have done it and haven't worked out well. So we'll just figure out what's our best formula to win.
Is there a momentum type thing that you consider that? Or can you at least talk about that a little bit to the Michigan fans? They're all wondering about
I think momentum is just something that's going to happen throughout a game. I don't think it's going to change with the quarterback. It's going to change with the whole team. So it's something that whether you get a stop, whether you don't get a stop, whether you score, whether you don't, those are things that really create the momentum. So for us, it's going to be just going to be a decision on who we feel is going to help us win.
Aaron?
Has Alex been taking the majority of the snaps for the first team?
It's been pretty even. So they've done a really good job of it's been even snaps throughout. Maybe it's one with him, one with next guy. So it's been an even distribution, and those guys done an outstanding job and obviously made it very hard for us to make a decision right now.
Who is that next guy?
Davis Warren.
On the left, Isaiah?
With Jeff Tedford stepping down in the summer, what are the challenges when it comes to trying to prepare for a team when you don't know if there's going to be anything that's drastically different, and also what do you see from Fresno State?
Yeah, I think first of all, whenever you have a new coach, obviously being a new coach, but when you have a new coach, there's the unknown. There's the not really sure. I know Coach Skipper has been in the system. He's been there. He's been with them, so he's evolved in the culture, and it's something that's been very successful. So you don't see him diverging too much from what they've done. I know he was the defensive coordinator, so I don't know how much involved he will be with the defense or not. But I can see that there's definitely going to be some wrinkles and things that we got to be prepared for. But they're a good football team. Went 9-4 last year. They're tough. They're blue collar. They play extremely hard. So it's going to be a challenge for us to make sure we do the same thing.
In the middle?
Yeah, what has stuck out to you about Fresno State's offense? They got a couple of key returners on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I think it starts number one with their quarterback, Mikey King. He's not as big as a lot of quarterbacks, but he gets the ball out quick. He's mobile. The offense all goes through him. So for us to be successful against him, it's about how we stop him, how we contain him. He's going to make his throws. He's going to do some really good things. He's going to be able to scramble outside the pocket. So we got to keep him contained and confuse him a little bit with coverages and things we do, and make it messy for him because it really goes through him. And when he's healthy for them, he does a really good job of ball control and control the offense, and you can see that the offense has a lot more confidence with him in the game.
Yeah, and then how do you keep the team focused on Fresno State with the showdown against Texas up next?
Our guys we got a really mature culture, and obviously the past 3 years we've done what we've done, but I think it's all about really today. Like, you can't be worried about 2 or 3 days from now, because then you're going to lose today. So you've got to get the advantage today on what you can do to get better, and we know they're a good football team. Last year they went to Purdue the first game of the year and beat them at their place. So there's no cakewalks anymore in college football. So whoever you play, you got to be ready to go.
On the left, Jennifer?
So how does it feel just that it's game week now? Is there an excitement building, the mentality of the team, and how excited are you to see them finally line up against somebody else?
Yeah, I think the biggest excitement is that they don't have to bash each other's head in against each other for the next whatever week. So that's awesome to see, but it's also awesome to game plan and get into that part of preparing for another opponent and the competitive part of it, and then playing in the stadium with all the fans. We're super excited about that. But for me, it's been awesome. Camp's been phenomenal just to be out there with the guys and grinding and really building the callus of our team and who we are and what we're going to be, and it's been fun to do that. So ready to take the next step in preparing for this Fresno team.
Obviously, you've done this before in a fill-in position, but are there a little bit of nerves? Is there a little different feel, like this is your team, this is your time?
Yeah, not really nerves. I've kind of stopped getting nervous anymore.
Describe the emotion, if you can, of what it.
Anxious, just ready to go. You know, ready to practice, ready for meetings. I'm ready. You know, today's the first day of school for the boys, so you know, we made sure we talked about going to class, being on time, sitting in the front, doing everything right. You know, talking to a couple younger guys. Hey, make sure you introduce yourself to the teacher. Shake their hand, say hello, because they're like, what? Introduce? Yes, do that. It's going to help you in the long run. So, but watching them as they come back from class and then go to meetings, that's going to be the cool thing to like see them. Oh, you guys had school today. Now we're back into football, and then you get this routine of a game week. So that's been the fun part for me.
On the left, Tony.
Yeah, sure. Back to the quarterback. When we spoke with Kirk Campbell earlier in camp, he was talking about no matter who wins the job, Michigan's offense is going to be base offense, but these guys do have different skill sets, right? And so there will be packages and things based around them. Is there not sort of a sense of urgency for the team to know sort of which way they're going, or maybe do you guys know and it's just?
No, there's no. I mean, there's always a sense of urgency in everything we do. So regardless of who's in the game, we're going to have a plan for them to be successful. So for us, it's not. The players they just go out there and perform. You know, whatever the play is called, they're excited and they're ready to go. So there's not really a, push to make sure we get it done by this time or a dead day. We know we play Saturday, and we'll have somebody ready to take the first snap.
And on the outside, I guess maybe some might have properly or improperly assumed Alex sort of entered as the leader. Were you all anticipating Davis pushing this hard? And this,
oh yeah.
This level of competition?
I mean, to know Davis Warren, if you know him on a personal level and what he's been through, that kid's a fighter. So you knew it was not just going to be given to anybody. So they had to go earn it, and he's earned the opportunity to, compete for it, and that's what he's been doing.
On the left, Ryan.
A top 10 team has already lost this season. Was there any messages or any lessons learned from that you share with your team after watching Florida State go down?
Yeah, that's why I said you got to just prepare. Every week you got to prepare like you're playing the number one team in the country. For us, it's not about the number or the ranking or anything like that. We have to go prepare to win that game. And whoever you're playing, it's a faceless opponent. You got to make sure you're prepared every day to go win that game. So for us, the message is pretty simple. They saw it. So there's not much we have to say about it.
On the left, Brad.
How do you replace over almost 12 starters on a roster where a lot of people say that with new teams like Oregon joining the conference and Ohio State loading up the way they have, you're trying to compete in a conference that's going to be just as competitive, if not more competitive than it was last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing we've done here and we will continue to do is develop. So you're going to have a lot of depth. Those guys, a lot of those guys that are going to be starters on Saturday have played. Whether they played here, they played at other places, they've all played in college football. So it's not like we lack that much experience. It's just they have to play together. And they've done that in training camp, and we started to build that synergy on offense and on defense, and you can start to see that take shape. So excited to see them on Saturday.
Chris.
Coach, what kind of camp has Jimmy Rolder had, and what have you seen from the backup linebackers?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great camp. We were just talking about him the other day. He's healthy. He feels good, and he's playing to that potential. You look back in 2022, he started the Ohio State game. So that's a guy that has all the talent in the world to be a top linebacker in the country, and he's really had a really good camp.
And what's the safety rotation looking like right now?
Right now, obviously, Makari's been phenomenal. Quentin Johnson's been great, but you got Zeke Berry in there. You got Wes Walker in there. You got Jaden Mangum. You got Brandon Hillman, who's really taken his level of play to the next level because he's got some elite traits and ability that people haven't seen yet, and we're super excited. It's finally getting there for him. But him and a guy like Zeke Berry, who's really all he needed was the confidence. And it'd be funny because I'm talking to Rod, I talked to Will, like, who's the guy like in the back end? And this was in the spring, like, who are you guys most excited about this? It's Zeke. And to watch his evolution as a player, he's made some plays in camp, just wild plays, and they're like, yeah, that's routine of his skill set. So he's really stepped it up. So that room is super deep and ready for it.
On the right, Angelique.
Sherrone, when you have two quarterback options who haven't started, how much does that limit what you can do on offense, at least initially? Do you slow it down for them? I mean, what do you do with two guys who haven't been in there?
Yeah, I think you just have to figure out what their strengths are, which we've done in camp. So there's a menu of stuff that we can do with each guy, and It's not like both of them can't throw and both of them can't run. So we just do it differently with different guys in the game. So I feel like we have a really good menu of plays, and both of them that can execute the offense fully. So it's just going to figure out who's going to do that consistently over these next couple of days.
And how different does the offense look with Alex and then with Davis?
Not crazy different. There's just things you can do with each guy that you'll change and manipulate, but it's not super different. So we're still going to be who we are and play our football.
On the left, Austin.
I have another question, but are you planning to watch the Netflix documentary that comes out tomorrow?
I'll be watching film, so I'll watch film first.
And at wide receiver, have you seen anybody take hold of that number 3 wide receiver spot, or do you expect that to be more by committee?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a competition as we continue through this camp. But guys like Kendrick Bell, guys like C.J. Charleston who's coming, Amarian Walker, Fred Moore, it's going to be all those guys that continue to compete as we go through the season, as we go through this camp and prepare for this first game and we go into the next game. So we'll see. We'll see who's going to really take that, solidify it. But right now we feel like we got great options at all of them.
Right here, Charlie.
Sherrone, you're obviously focused on your team and your players, but have you taken a moment of personal reflection on what this moment and what Saturday is going to mean for you?
No, I haven't. It's been like literally, I've been asked that before. It's like all I care about is the players. Like I don't think about myself. I don't want to. Dave asks me to do stuff all the time. I'm just like why do I have to talk about myself? All I care about is the players. That's it. That's all I care about. So I haven't looked at it in my perspective. I just want them to go out there and be successful and have the time of their life.
On the right hand.
Center, right tackle, can you just speak to the guys like vying for the job, and has someone won the job?
Yeah, I think right now at center, we've got a couple guys. We got Dom Gadis, we got Greg Crippen, and we got Raheem Anderson. And right now it's still a competition. So we'll see who does it. I think Crippen and Dom have been the top 2 in camp so far. So we'll see how they, compete this week. And then at right tackle, Andrew Gentry, Evan Link have been the top 2 candidates there. So we'll see what happens this week. But I feel like we'll have more of a insight and cement as we go through the rest of the week.
Could you speak to Dom and Evan, just what they've done to show you that they got in the mix?
Yeah, I think just one from a knowledge of the playbook standpoint and knowing what to do and how to do it. Both have the talent, both have the ability, but the toughness and the mental toughness to withstand all the strain and as you go through camp and different things happen and be able to be flexible, play right, play left, play center, play guard, and be one of the best 5, because that's all we're going to do is try to find the best 5. That's how we've built the line, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
On the right, Noah.
Yeah, you talked about the safeties a little bit, but at cornerback, who do you see lining up opposite Will Johnson?
Yeah, right now it'll be Jair. Jair's really taken a hold of that position and done a really good job. Shug, he's been phenomenal, tough, just gritty dude, one of Kankakee's finest, and he's been great. So I think it'll be him on Saturday. They'll line up across from Will Johnson.
Next question on the left, Reiner.
Yeah, you talked about turning the page, but how hard is it when you have stuff like this documentary coming out and also the draft, or the NLA, being delivered? It's back in the headlines, I guess, the remnants of last season. How hard is it just to turn the page, I guess, towards the season?
Not hard. Not when you're here with the players and you're getting ready for the game. So you can write about that. You guys can write about that all you want, but we're just worried about playing.
Got time for a few more questions if you guys have it. Start left, Chris.
Marlin Klein had a good spring. How's he done this fall?
He's been great. Yeah, he's really cemented himself as that third guy with Colston and Max. He's had an outstanding camp, so ready to put his talents on display for sure.
Tony.
Any injury updates? No, you guys, I guess, entering the season pretty healthy? Or?
We're locked. We're in a good place.
On the right, Aaron.
When fans show up Saturday or tune in Saturday, what do you hope they take away from watching your team?
Oh, man. Just hope they're proud of the product that they see on the field. We're going to be flying around like our hair's on fire. We're going to play fast. We're going to play physical. We're going to play tough. We're going to play through the whistle. We're going to do everything we've done in the past, but we're going to try to take the level of play up to the next level.
Last question on the left, Ryan.
You guys rotated 4 edge guys pretty frequently last year. Now only 2 of them remain. Do you expect maybe a heavier workload for Derek Moore and Josiah Stewart, or maybe continue to rotate some guys in at those positions?
No, I think we'll definitely rotate. You know, those 2 have definitely cemented themselves as guys, but a guy like TJ Guy, I mean, he's had started in spring, and then he just went over to fall camp, and he's put himself right in the conversation with Derek and Josiah, and nobody's talking about him, and that's great. We kind of like it that way. He's going to have a heck of a year, but him and Cam Brandt are going to be guys that are going to really, you know, bust on the scene. So excited for that.